This is how you would die in every Warhammer 40k world. Number 5. Necromunda. If a rough neighborhood scares you, try a city where the infrastructure has a higher body count than the gangs. Necromunda is a Hive world, a planet buried under stacked city towers and factories that never stop. Up the spires, rich families get sunlight and clean air. Down in the Underhive, you get recycled breath, rust, and gangs that decide the law based on who has the bigger knife. Here, you're most likely born as a worker. Maybe your parents worked the factories making munitions or processing ore. Maybe they were part of a guild. You get assigned a job early, hauling cargo, feeding machinery, and you work 16 to 20 hour shifts in endless rotation because the factory never sleeps. You clock in, keep your head down, and hope nobody decides your boots look nicer on them. One wrong corridor, and you're suddenly paying toll with your teeth. The gangs run protection rackets, the guilders control the work, and the enforcers only show up when corpses start blocking trade routes. But most people don't go out in gang wars. Most people get taken out by cargo lifts. They're an original Imperial construction rated for maybe 10,000 uses, and they've done in millions. The cables are frayed, the platforms rust-eaten, but maintenance requests go to offices that haven't been staffed in centuries. You take the lift because walking down would take hours and you'd be late. Late means docked pay means you can't afford your apartment, your HAB unit. But you won't have to worry about that, because the cable snaps and you drop 40, 60, maybe 100 feet. You hit a catwalk on the way down, the metal's been soaking in acidic runoff for millennia, so it folds like wet paper. You fall further, bouncing off pipes, smashing through grating, until you land in the sump. That's the bottom of the Hive where everything drains. Chemical waste from factories, sewage from billions of people, leaked fuel from ancient systems. It's a toxic lake that burns through clothes, liquefies skin, and fries your nerves so your limbs won't work right. You sink slowly because the sludge is thick and you're conscious for most of it. By the time anything with teeth reaches you, the Hive above has already forgotten you existed. Your position already replaced with a new worker. And if the lift does not take you, the Hive still has plenty of ways to cash you out. Radiation-twisted mutants dragging you into the deep dark for food, uncontrolled psychers detonating like war bombs and vaporizing your entire HAB block, gene stealer cults infecting workers in hidden lairs, or redemptionist zealots burning you alive in holy fire because you looked impure. Number 4. Mars. If you've ever felt replaceable at work, Mars makes it literal. Mars is the home of the Adeptus Mechanicus, the tech priests who keep Imperial machines alive by treating technology like religion and humans like spare parts. When they call something sacred, it usually comes with incense, chanting, and someone suffering quietly. You're a menial low-level worker in a manufactorum, which is basically a very big factory. You haul coils, scrub oil, and feed raw parts into machines that you're not allowed to understand fully. You repeat the machine spirit prayers because the Mechanicus believes every major device has a spirit that must be respected. Also, the Overseer has a shock prod and a short temper. Most days you almost die in boring ways. A servo arm swings wide, a gear train catches a sleeve, a plasma line runs hot behind a thin warning rail. Everybody acts normal because stopping the line costs more than a life. Then you make a mistake. Maybe you touch the wrong panel. Maybe you skip a prayer because you're tired. Maybe you just look at a tech priest wrong. Doesn't matter, you get flagged for correction. They don't kill you, no, that would waste resources. They put you through servitorization. It's the Mechanicus solution for criminals, failures, and anyone who can be turned into a tool. You're strapped to a surgical table in a clinic that smells like hot metal and burnt flesh with a hint of incense. A tech priest is cataloging your body, listing which parts are still useful. One eye goes, replaced with a targeting camera. One arm gets sawed off, replaced with a bionic claw. They're upgrading you, turning you into something more useful. But they don't stop there. You're awake for parts of it. You feel the drill entering your skull. You feel them scooping out the pieces that made you care about being alive. You try to scream, but your vocal cords are already cut and rewired into speakers that only beep and click. And the lobotomy wipes you clean. No awareness, no screaming, just obedience protocols and an empty shell that used to be you. Though some say there are cases where a botched surgery might leave you with a sliver of consciousness. The question is, which is worse? Then the programming boots up. Your body keeps working, hauling, cleaning, marching into gunfire as a living meat shield. But if you somehow avoid getting servitorized, don't be relieved just yet. Mars still has other options. Suffocating slowly when your corroded atmospheric suit fails in the carbon dioxide waste, getting torn apart by feral war machines roaming the deserts, execution for heresy via live entombment in cursed vaults, or Necron raiders phasing through forges to flay workers atom by atom during subterranean incursions. Number 3. Catachan. If you have ever called the woods peaceful, Catachan is about to correct you. Catachan is a death world, which is the Imperium's polite label for planets where the wildlife is more dangerous than the local politics. The jungle is thick, wet, and full of things with teeth strong enough to chew through armor plating. The jungle starts testing you as soon as you arrive. It's loud with screeches and rustling, then suddenly dead silent, then loud again. Your nerves never settle. The locals, the Catachan jungle fighters, give you rules with zero emotion because they've seen what happens. Do not drink the water, do not touch the plants, do not sleep on the ground, and do not follow pretty noises because pretty noises are bait. You follow the rules at first. You boil water until it tastes like metal. You sleep on a raised cot even when it wobbles. You keep your gloves on, then you get tired, and tired is when Catachan collects. After a long day, you hear a soft, pretty chirping off the trail, almost like a song. Now, you should have remembered the locals' warning, but you step off the path anyway, just for a quick peek. And that's when you get jumped by a scorpion-like nightmare. It has a segmented body, multiple legs, a stinging tail, and mouth tentacles. This is the Catachan Devil, claws like hooks, a mouth built for ripping, hide thick enough that your panic shots barely matter. You scramble for your knife and realize you have never practiced using it. It pins you. The pressure crushes breath first, then ribs, then the idea you're getting up again. And the devil is only one way. Catachan also kills through airborne microbes that liquefy your insides in hours, carnivorous brain leaves that hijack your nervous system and puppet your body, blood wasps that strip flesh to bone in minutes, great barking toads that detonate in 1 kilometer toxin clouds, melting you where you stand, or parasitic vein worms burrowing into your veins to hatch larvae that eat your organs from inside. As they say, the weapon doesn't put you on top of the food chain, it just gives you a chance to not be at the bottom. The jungle does not care which method wins, only that it wins. Number 2, Damnos. Damnos starts out calm, fresh hab blocks, honest work, families planting crops and pretending the galaxy is not a nightmare. But that's exactly how tomb worlds get you. A tomb world is a planet that looks dead because it's hiding something underneath. What it's hiding is Necrons, ancient machine beings that have been sleeping under the surface for millennia. When they wake up, they don't invade. The planet was always theirs. Ancient systems come online and everyone on the surface becomes debris to sweep away. You're hauling supplies when the first crack runs down the road. Green light spills out of the seam, too bright to be natural. Then black pylons punch up through the rock, tall and smooth. Then, as you're exploring, a Necron jump scares you as it wakes up. You fire instinctively, but it sparks off their metal bodies like hitting a tank with a BB gun. The Necron raises a Gauss weapon and fires it towards you. The beam strips you down layer by layer. Skin turns to dust, muscle unravels, blood becomes glittering ash in the air. Your brain stays awake long enough to register how quiet dying can be when the weapon is built to erase flesh and armor in seconds. And that's if you're lucky. Some colonists get stunned instead of killed. The Cryptech Technomancers then map the neural patterns and download you into a Canoptech, a beetle-sized repair drone. You're still in there, aware, just trapped in a machine that will never die. Your new purpose is to maintain the Necron tomb worlds. Others burn when the Imperial Navy virus bombs the planet from orbit. Some get crushed under Ultramarines' drop pods, cut down by bolter fire, or flattened by tank treads. Basically, when Necrons wake, everyone loses. Number 1. Medrengard. Medrengard sits in the Eye of Terror, a region of space warped by chaos where the war bleeds into reality. The Iron Warriors, a traitor Space Marine legion obsessed with siege warfare, rule it. They turn the world into a fortress, a factory, and a punishment that never clocks out. You are captured and brought here. If you're a slave, you get tagged and marched into trench work. If you're a prisoner, you become a test subject. If you're a cultist, you learn fast that devotion buys nothing here, just gets your name on a list. As a slave, your days become shovel strokes and sirens. You haul rubble to build walls, stack ammo, and carry armor plates while shells fall close enough to rattle your teeth. Then the warp interference starts. The warp is the nightmare dimension ships use for faster travel and psychic power, and on Medrengard it leaks into everything. Metal twists when you look away, doors show up where there was solid wall, you hear your name in your mother's tone and it shakes you harder than you want to admit. People around you start talking to empty air, then walking into it like they're answering a call nobody else can hear. Most slaves die like this, worked to death, blown apart, mutated by warp corruption. But there's one fate that makes all of those look merciful. The Demunculaba. If you're a female captured by the Iron Warriors, then you're in for a fate worse than death. The savage morticians, corrupted tech priests who serve the Iron Warriors, drag you to the breeding chambers. They force feed you until your body bloats huge, then they cut you open and pump you with stolen gene seed paste. Yes, paste. It's made from ground up dead Marines. Next, they shove in a screaming young boy from the slave pens. His arms and legs get stapled to the inside of your womb so he can't fight. Then, they sew you shut. Tentacles and parasites in the womb carry it to the boy inside. Chaos magic speeds everything up. In days or weeks, the boy mutates into an 8-foot Chaos Space Marine. Yes, it's still inside you, and you're awake for all of it. There's no natural way out for the Marine, so when he's ready, he claws free, ripping through you to escape. Unsurprisingly, most women die immediately from blood loss and shock. The ones who survive get sewn back up and implanted again. The Marines that crawl out are skinless, screaming half mad, and depending on how functioning they are, these guys either get thrown into combat or thrown into pits to die. And that's the list. The 41st Millennium has a million more ways to end you, so comment below which ones you want to see on the channel. Also, gun to your head, if you had to choose, which would you rather choose and why? Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.